Hello friends, how are you guys doing? I hope you're great. I thought I should take this short video to discuss with you about a real estate space that is actually generating stable um, income for people who are actually in it. This is a space where people are able to practice as real estate business people, but some of them don't even know that they're actually in the business of property and real estate. But this is a space actually that is able to take kids to school. It's actually able to cover some monthly expenses for people who are in this space. And this is the space where people are actually able to make a living, to make ends meet. And some of them are actually not even treating it as a business. And this business that I'm talking about, this is the backroom industry. This is where landlords in the townships, in the in the locations, people build rental units in the back of their house. Those with houses that are paid up, or those who are still paying a bond, but they just build rental units at the back of their houses, and they get tenants to come and move in, and they start paying anything from 700, 800, 900, all the way to actually 2000, 2.5. Those who are able to put in some elements, additions like a shower and a toilet inside the rental units, are able to actually charge as much as around 2.5, 3,000, even 3.5, depending on how huge the space is, and also how the elements that have been put in terms of tiles, in terms of shower, toilet in the space, and also putting ceiling and all of that. So this is a space that people are actually in it, and some don't even know it's actually a business for some people, but it's not registered. People will not go to the CIPC, for instance, to register it as a business and start collecting rent and call it a business that they are doing on a monthly basis. And this is a space that anybody can actually get into. This is a space that, as After 12 Properties, we are in the space where we construct and provide affordable rental units for low income earners in the townships. And we thought, because this is a space where it's actually speaking to the rapid growth of the population in the urban areas, and we thought maybe we need to also play our part in ensuring that we provide affordable rental accommodation for people. Now, I wanted to discuss with you about this space in the real estate space, and to open some of your some of you's minds, because some of you may be looking for a real estate or property strategy that you can implement. This is probably something you can be interested in and you'd like to tap into. So, firstly, what is the backroom industry? As I've explained, the backroom industry is it's actually a 10 billion rand industry, where each year the rent that is being collected has been calculated to be around 10 billion rand. This is where people build the rental units, call it rooms, in the back of their houses, whether they are still paying a bond or they have a paid up house, where they get people to move in into those back rooms, and they start renting. This is a space where you can pay from as little as 700 all the way to 3,500, depending on what elements I have been put into that particular room, or that particular apartment. Some people go as far as building apartments in the township. So it is predominantly in the townships of South Africa. You talk about townships in Gauteng, all the provinces basically. I know even back at home in Mpumalanga, they also do build rental units for teachers who are coming from other provinces or other parts of the country and go to get a job in a school. They will need a rental room to just, make ends meet, basically, for them to stay. So people will then rent those ones out. What do you need to start in this space? All you need is a space to build rental units. So if you are probably staying with your parents or you have your own house, you can actually start looking into, do you have space in the yard where you can build cottages? Do you have space in the yard where you can build, the rooms, rental units for tenants to come in and rent in? That's basically what you need. So what you will need is to find a space that is not, preferably, things you need to look at so that it's legally and it's done legally and it's also done properly. Ensure that where you are thinking of putting your rooms, there are no sewage pipes that are moving underneath, from the municipality or that have been installed by you guys. You can look into, you are not building those rental units on top of electrical lines or on top of anything that you are not supposed to, build on top of. So those are the things you need to look into, and it is important that you get your plan approved by the municipality. So if it's a story that will touch on another video where we talk about the legalities of the backroom industry. Is it legal? Is it not legal? That is something we'll discuss further in another video. But right now we're still touching on what it is. What is the backroom industry? What does it entail? And what do you need to start in this industry? And as I've explained, you just need a space that allows you to build rental units. It could be 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 8, depending on the space that you have in the yard. You can even do a double story if you are able to get like proper people to do that for you. You can actually be able to generate income from those rental units. Then as soon as you have the space to build the rental units, then what you then need is to get construction guys, people who know how to build houses, who know how to build rooms as well. Get those guys to come and assess your place, check what, do the measurements and see what you will need and what you will not need, and you guys agree on that. So in the townships like in Galfontein, where we have a footprint, we have our own rental units in Galfontein, and in Ebony Park as well. You can get construction guys, independent construction guys, so you don't need to hire people to work for you permanently. You can just hire guys to get paid per project. So you will get charged on average like 3,000 rand per room to build it. So if you are building 3 rooms, you are looking at around 9,000 rand to pay for the guys that will be building, and you are looking at an additional 1,000 rand for the roofing, and then the electrical wiring and all of that also needs to be done by somebody who understands it and knows it, so that it's not something that's some shady job that's being done. So you get proper guys. If you want your tenants that are going to move into a space that is properly constructed, properly done, you need to get guys that understand all the requirements of building a house. And that's basically about it in terms of what you need in terms of starting this business. And now the other element is that the backroom industry, it's actually taking care of families. It's sending kids to school from families that don't have jobs, those ones who are not working. We are in an economy where a lot of people are not working. There's a high unemployment rate. So things like the backroom industry is able to take care of families, send kids to school, pay for the daily and the monthly bills in the house. If done correctly and done properly, it's able to sustain a family for decades. So if you are interested in this space, it is a space you can actually try. It is a space you can tap into. It is a space that we are into as After 12 Properties. We acquire properties that have a big enough space to build rental units outside, and then if it is a bond, then the rental units outside, including the house, then they're able to pay the bond amount on a monthly basis. So when we move to acquire another property, we do the same, and we get tenants into the main house, get tenants on the rental units outside in the back rooms. And if we've decided that it is a proper property to even add a story on top of it, we add the story, and there's apartments on top of the main house and some rental units, double story rental units on the back rooms as well. It is something that you can start working on immediately if you either stay with your parents, where you can be able to build rental units, or if you have your own space where you can build the rental units. And then for those that are thinking privacy, you want to have privacy and not stay with your tenants there, that is also something you can look at. But if you are trying to build a portfolio, you need to start thinking long term than to think about the current moment. You can stay with tenants in the same yard while you are building a portfolio in the property space, because it's not an easy industry where you can just acquire and acquire and acquire, and you can get your own house and go stay wherever and all of that. So when you are starting out, my advice to you is don't be concerned much about your own privacy. You will get your own privacy when you have secured the bag in the current property that you have. When it starts paying for itself through the tenants, then you can start looking into getting your own property to buy, or whatever you want to do. But if you are thinking about tapping into this space, it is a doable space. Everyone in the township, at least most people, are doing it in the township, even though some people have not registered it as a business and they don't see it as a business. But for some people like us who are tapping into the affordable rental unit space, we see this as a business, and we continue to get our guys building rental units and getting them rented out to people. It's a simple, easy, but you need to do everything by the books, and we'll cover that in another video where we talk about the legalities of it, because you also need to ensure that you are compliant with ESCOM, you are compliant with the municipality, you are compliant with the body or the board that allows for people to where we send our plans, our housing plans, for a plan to be approved before construction can be done. Those things are things we'll cover in another video. But for now, I just wanted to advise you guys that this is another space in the real estate sector that is worth tapping into. So hit the comment section. Let me know what you think. Let me know which real estate space you are in. Tell me, let's learn from each other, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's connect. Let's talk about the real estate space. Tell me what you do. I'll also share my ideas on what I do. On Twitter, I'm at Lindo_Mnisi. That's the same on Instagram. I'd advise you to also catch me on LinkedIn. It's just Lindo Mnisi. And also on Facebook, you can either search After 12 Properties, or you can search Lindo Mnisi. But for now, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. The comment section is also yours. Let's discuss about the real estate space. For now, cheers.